That's a little wonky. Ew, Sci-Fi Surprise. Oh, already knocking things over. Gotta love Mondays. Hey everyone, Shannon here, and here to share about the 23rd film in my Sci-Fi Surprize Series with Colossus and the Amazon Queen. So you know that saying about, well, now I can't remember the saying. What's the saying? Something about, like, your mom said, don't say anything that isn't nice. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. Just wondering if I should just look out the window for 2 minutes. Okay, alright, so Colossus and the Amazon Queen, also known as La Regina del Amazone, which means the Queen of the Amazon, for the Sci-Fi Surprize Series. As you may have guessed, this is not a science fiction film. I can't even guess what they were thinking, other than I'm sure they needed one more title. There's like one guy that's like an inventor. That's the closest it comes to a science fiction film. It's an Italian film. It's dubbed. The dubbing is pretty horrible, but kind of funny. I actually wonder if the people who were dubbing it actually even had a script, or if they just ad-libbed, because a lot of it doesn't make sense in terms of over time. I found it hard to follow, but let's get to the gist of the movie. Okay, so it's not sci-fi. Okay, putting that aside for the moment, what is it? This is really sort of a combination of a sword and sandals movie, so it's like set during like gladiator-ish times, but then Amazonian. So it's like gladiators and Amazonians. It's like it's not a. Should have been verses. It should have been verses. But the tempo of the film is a beach movie. It's a beach movie. Actually, one of the only things I liked about the movie was the music, because it was like beach movie music. It was like you could see like people dancing in fringe dresses and like bam 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 and big drums and all this stuff. That was fun. That was a blast. I was loving that. That was like the only thing I liked about this movie. Oh, it was so horrible. It was so horrible. And it's like so Colossus and the Amazon Queen. Colossus. There's no one in the film named Colossus. Even in the original Italian version or the dubbed version, there's Glauco. I think they must mean Glauco because he's the big guy. And Amazon Queen. There is an Amazon Queen. She is not the person the title is referring to. That's a totally different character. So it's like Glauco, and I can't even actually figure out who in terms of the character, who the character was or who the actress was who played her. So it's actually about two different people. It's not about Colossus and Amazon. Oh my god. And it's a comedy in the sense that it sort of makes fun. It's kind of a gender flip, the Amazons are the strong warriors, and then the guys end up being sort of the people who do everything, kind of. So it's kind of, the comedy comes from how isn't that funny? Isn't it funny to see men doing laundry? Ah, welcome to 2013. Maybe it was a lot funnier. I am sure it was funny-ish, at least to some people in 1960. So we've come a long way since then. Not really funny. Although, I would have to say that possibly if you looked at this from a historical perspective, from gender analysis, it could be an interesting, lens into the time and those kinds of things. But in general, I was just like, wow, this is like, I think if it had a stronger story or if the dubbing was better, it would have been okay, or if it was worse. It's really sadly one of those ones that sort of just falls middle of the road because it's not super campy. Like, it is campy in terms of the fighting. It's all like, Batman's, like, TV show Batman style, and, the music comes in, it's just like chaos and stuff. So that's kind of funny, but it's not great, and then from the story perspective and the gender flip perspective, I was like, awesome, Amazonian women, awesome, totally awesome. No, it's just worse. Sometimes I think when they do films like that, it's worse, because it reaffirms, as opposed to showing another side or showing another perspective, it kind of actually reaffirms that current day sexist perspective. So that totally sucks. Although there were a couple of the Amazonian women who were awesome, but then also the whole Amazonian thing, like the whole society theory, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Some of it made sense, but not a lot of it made sense. There was some hilarious interplay between the actual Amazonian queen, who's not actually a big part of the film at all, and her and the high priestess, who, how they had some interesting dialogues, and it was really weird, because it's like, out of the entire Amazonians, the queen must remain chaste. But none of the other women. I'm like, how does that work? Like, how does that society function? Like, so is it like Klingon? Do you like kill the queen? I don't know. Like, how does succession work? So odd. But as I said, I'm sure some of the translation and some of he leaves a lot. I don't know how much they had to work with. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It was mostly a mess. I did love the music. It reminded me that that's something I do like about beach movies, is that sort of really fun, and I guess some people would find this kind of like a fun romp. It's not I don't really care about those kinds of movies, and there wasn't that much in it at all, really, seriously, but there is, I'm sure that there's that's sort of the niche I think it falls in, which means 1, not science fiction, 2, not a Shannon movie. So done with Colussus and Amazon Queen. Let's go on to see what our next film will be. Alright, cheeky. And let's see. It's this one. Ooh, it feels skinny. Smaller paper. It's upside down. Hercules against, I think that's the Moon Men. Oh my god, that's so funny, because I was just thinking that there's a whole whack ton of Hercules movies in the set. Oh, I can't. Whole ton of Hercules movies in the set, and I haven't watched any of them, and here we go, because I think there's at least 4, and it's coming off of Colussus and the Amazon Queen. I have no idea. It's funny, all the Hercules movies have different people in them, so I guess it's not a series. Or maybe there's different Hercules, or maybe Alan Steele is not the person who plays Hercules. Who knows? From 1964, another color one. I think this one was color. Yeah, it was color, but it was washed out and stuff like that. I don't know. And also, again, the idea... Well, Hercules against the Moon Men. So that has potential for science fiction. Moon Men? There's always hope. I'm such a sucker. I'm always hoping. Always hoping. When will I ever learn? Well, it's okay. We're almost at the halfway point. And I went through a slump of a lot of non-sci-fi, and then a lot of sci-fi, and then this one again was not science fiction. So, oh well. On to Hercules. We'll see what he has to say.